Kia ora, dear listener or viewer. Welcome to Zealand. Now, Zealand is set in a post-apocalyptic world, so it goes without saying that we will be exploring some of the darker natures of humanity. So if you're squeamish or the idea unsettles you, take your chance now to walk away. For now, we return to Zealand.
Kia ora, guys, gals, and legionnaires. Rycon here, and welcome back to Zealand. This is Chapter 4, Part 1, Eye for an Eye. In the last session, our survivors travelled to Colm. Colm was the settlement, a place where the Russians had called home for a time. It was at Marsden Point, New Zealand's only fuel refinery. And there, it would seem that they'd been working in something of a fuel business. That all went up in flames when an unknown faction had attacked them during the evening. Our survivors were making their way back, narrowly escaping some horrors in the night, rescued by Skulk, Jen, and Charles on the second chance. There was a rescue attempt made to see if Max could be brought back off of the fuel ship. However, it seems that she was already gone. Where to now, we don't know. In the altercation that preceded finding whether or not Max was there, Scott was hit badly, taking a bullet to the face, a lethal wound that caused him to burn a sigil. Now he lays in the back of the second chance, with Jen doing all she can to save him. You're still in a panicked state, still in a bit of shock. The massive explosion that was tearing through Marsden Point is continuing on. You raced away in the boat as the sky caught on fire, and overhead you heard a chopper making its way past you, seeing for a brief second the lights before it disappeared into this cloud of soot and smoke and ash. With only a few lights on, the second chance races along the coastline that we can see here. And to give you a perspective of how far you've travelled, over here is Whangarei. This is where you went off into the woods to try and see if you could recover Ismail's people, and perhaps the Keisha weapons. Unfortunately, that went wrong. You have Ismail with you at this stage, and you also have another unnamed comrade of his, one who had his hand injured badly. You travelled from Whangarei to Marsden Point, this speck out here on the edge. And from that point, you've travelled back home along this large bay and the next bay, all the way towards this little spit that you know as home, the reserve, where some of you, Scott and Skulk, have spent the last 5 years living here. It's good to see this thing come back into sight. Even for the two of you who haven't been here for long, it's a place of security. It felt like it when you were there, even though it had been attacked by horrific dogs.
It's still half as good a sight for me, though.
Yes, yeah. Well, unfortunately, you're still kind of looking halfway towards the top of the second chance.
It's only a quarter.
Yeah.
Oh.
But Skulk, you do see it come into sight as you are gunning this thing with Charles, and he looks panicked and concerned, and everyone else that's down the bottom is in the same boat, quite literally. As you rock back up towards the reserve, a call is made through on the boat's radio to the reserve to let them know that the approaching vessel is friendly. That's the second chance. Charles hangs that up and makes anchor where the second chance has been sitting for a lot of the last 5 years, floating in between the reserve and Goat Island itself. You have 2 sail ships that are moored up there as well, which don't always see action, but from time to time they have been taken out in the years prior. The inflatable boat that's on the back of here is used to transport Scott first and then others. Scott's seen as the priority in this. The Russians, they're left for a while. Both Nick and Jake stand guard, making sure that they're still safe and secure down the bottom. And for the most part, they've been kept separate from everyone else, sealed down the bottom, thanks to the tarpaulin that was kind of stretched across it. Scott, in your semi-conscious state, you're brought into the inflatable, brought back along the beach. Jen is there with you the whole time. She's always either got you by here or holding onto your hand or something and is rushing you up towards there. Those of you that travel with this first lot, you're greeted by Frank on the shore, and upon seeing the state that you're in, immediately calls through on a radio to Willow. Scott's rushed away with a number of others coming out to help bring him up to the sick bay so that he can start to receive treatment. Meanwhile, the boat goes back again to collect the remainers on there, the Russians and everyone else. Skulk, I'm assuming you come back at some point with everyone else. When the last person's off the boat, Charles closes everything up, makes sure everything's kind of locked to get up into the actual cockpit of the boat, and you make your way back across, pulling yourself up onto the stony shore. The 2 of you have returned without Max, and that's still sitting in there, this unanswered question as to whether or not she's okay, where she could be, if whatever the Russians were trying to do to save her worked or not. Because even if she did get away from there, there's a chance that the infection that was burning a fever into her has already taken her. There's a lot of unknowns there. But you all march up towards the reserve together, and word of Scott's condition has started to spread among the others that are here. Some of the outer lights have been turned on. It's still very, very dark, but you can see an ever-present glow off to your north, off towards where you came from, Marsden Point, where the Russians were moored up. The inferno that's burning there is going to be burning for a while. Do you try and rest? The other Russians are brought up into the sickbay. We'll go ahead and jump into the accommodation proper. On the second level of the MDC is where you've kept people in the past. It's where Max was before she left here. Up in this portion here, there are 2 sections that are completely squared off. One Russian is in this one, the other in here. So Ismail's in the left, the unnamed Russian is in the right. Scott, you're kind of deemed not contagious, so you've been put in this room here where Willow has been working on you with the assistance of Nick. Jen has been told to wait outside, and she's pacing up and down the corridor, unsure what to do with herself. And there's someone at our door, so we're going to go scare them away. So in the real world, we had some dastardly children trying to sell us strawberries and feijoas. We turned them down.
It was actually limes.
Oh, it was limes.
It was limes.
I wanted limes.
Too bad.
Go back. It's too bad. It's unfortunate. No, but Jen is pacing up and down.
I was about to say roll diplomacy.
Oh, roll diplomacy? Yeah, okay. Yeah. The ceiling starts to become somewhat unstable as you see small pebbles start to drop down inexplicably.
That's cool. That's cool.
So, Jen is pacing up and down this hallway. It's quiet in Scott's room. It's quiet everywhere. Jake has left and is spending some time with Aroha and the rest of her family. Unfortunately, returning without any medication. He was hoping to find something that might help alleviate the issues that she's been having with her pregnancy. They're off on their own, talking with each other. Nick is kind of wistfully looking out the window at this stage. What are the three of you doing? Skulk, I imagine you're...
Up on the roof. On
yes,
the radio.
Something that you'll notice is that while you were here, as you left, a project had been undertaken. That project was adding an ability to make it up and down faster, so that someone like yourself wouldn't have to climb up a ladder every single time. Something that we might have done in those 5 years. But you know what? There weren't too many conflicts, so a need for that wasn't there.
Just keep getting shifted down the priority list.
But a system has been put in place, and it is a basic, rudimentary system, to say the least, in the form of a square that has been taken out of the roof that is covered with it's like a large rubber seal that goes over the top of it. Because the nature of this roof is that you couldn't just straight and put a trapdoor in, because it's not just like a piece of wood. There are multiple different layers to it, so there's a bit of thickness. So essentially what's happened is a square has been cut out that you can get up and down through, and a weight is placed on the top. So from the inside, you could push up with a bit of strength to push it to the side, to move it out the way. It's done that way so that the seal will stop water from leaking in and getting underneath of it. On the inside, there is a step ladder that's brought up that allows you to get up and reach and pull yourself up. It does go up a little bit higher, so it's not as difficult for you to get up with the two arms.
You mean one arm?
With one arm. That's what I was getting to. So yeah, it's not as difficult. But, you know, it's crude, to say the least. So that's something that Poe had been working on while he was here. He has a plan to actually put a proper trapdoor in place, but it's just done this way so that there isn't just a gaping hole in your roof, because that's no good for no one.
Yeah.
But you return up the top.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. What about you two? What do you do with your evening, having returned?
Probably immediately just go flop down in the lounge.
The lounge area up the top?
A little bit.
Yeah, I'd probably end up doing the same. Just flop down, take a bit of deep breath, and just process.
As you two flop, Jonah comes out of one of the rooms. The elderly gentleman here.
I heard what happened.
Yep.
I'm sorry that not everyone was able to come back.
We'll find her. Eventually.
It's a good attitude. I tell you, I was unsure when Nick and Jake left those years ago. Thought they were toast. Thought they were dead. That's why we put graves to them out the back. But Scott, he didn't give up. He thought they were out there somewhere, still making it. So there's a chance that she is still out there, making it too. Now, I didn't know her from a bar of soap, but she seemed tough, so...
Yeah, that's a little bit of an understatement, but yeah.
I'd hold off on those graves.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that needs to be done around here that's immediate priority, or can we possibly wait until the Russians intended to? Because they're our best lead to find her.
Well, I think they're our lead for a lot of things. We need answers. We just gotta hope that they have them. The one with his hand, I don't know how much he's got left in him.
Yeah, well, people kind of promised the other guy that we'll bring him back.
did a good job hanging on as long as he has. But, yes, he wasn't looking good.
We'll know by the morning. You two look shattered. You should rest. We'll keep a lookout. Make sure that no funny business happens.
Appreciate that.
I actually haven't got a room here yet.
Ah,
Don't think I have either.
well, we do have some. We'll get you sorted.
That would be appreciated.
All right.
So, having a look at what's on offer, there isn't too much at this stage. There isn't too much on offer. Up the top here, I believe this room has been claimed. I'm relatively sure it's been claimed by either Nick or Jake, because I think this was Chloe's room for a time.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
pretty
like the
sure.
third floor rooms. I think they're all.
I remember someone
Yeah.
claiming it, yeah.
On the second here, I believe that these two were empty. One of them has been used by... Yeah, definitely one down here has been used by... Actually, no, Scott, your room is here. No, your room's up the top. Who am I kidding? This is your room here. The other rooms have also been taken by Jake and Aroha and the Apuranas. So there isn't too much space right now.
Yeah.
I'll be comfortable on the couch.
There is one of the hospital rooms that's open. So there is an available room.
I'll let you have that. I'll probably go crash on the couch.
Okay.
It's not really too much of a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do for tonight, yeah.
Right, you make your way down the stairs.
Onto that second floor, and you see Jen just kind of waiting outside of Scott's room. Still hasn't put any of her stuff down. Still wearing all of her chainmail. I'm guessing you guys have kind of
flopped down, that was
started
like,
chainmailing off. Yeah. So she's still got all of her gear on. She still has her bow around her, quiver on the back, and little satchel bag on the side. She's just kind of looking concerned.
How's he doing?
I don't know. I think he's gonna make it. He's got the tenacity. It's not the first time he's lost something.
No.
He did promise me he wasn't gonna lose anything else.
It is just a small bit. Little important, but...
He didn't even try to move. I think he was worried. Worried that it might hit one of us. Or he just didn't think he was going to shoot. I haven't made up my mind yet.
Wouldn't know either way, but... I'm sure he'd much rather it hit him than you.
Yeah.
The fact he's still here at all after taking that is no small miracle.
You're right. You should sleep. You look like crap. I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Yeah. I was coming down to grab this, but now I realise it's probably better that it's here just in case you need a rest.
I'm fine. As soon as they let me in there, I'll stay in there. They're still working. It's all yours.
Alright. If you need it, I'm more than happy
Thanks.
to move.
You open the door and you find the kind of little modest room. It's small. This was originally used as student accommodation, so it's not big by any means, and a lot of the unnecessary furniture has already been taken out of here to make a little bit more space. There are a few extra things stuck, like just kind of pressed up into the corner. You can see that there are some other different sleeping implements, sleeping bags, and a few other bits and pieces that have just been stacked up in here against the wall. So it's been semi-used for storage at the same time. But you managed to find yourself a semi-comfortable position, and start to stare at the ceiling for a while and think things over. And there's that ever-present smell of lavender here that is familiar, if not sometimes a little overpowering, as it's kind of growing all around the outside of the windows, supposedly masking your scent. It's definitely doing something.
Overpowering it, at least.
Yeah. And we go up onto the 3rd floor, up to your humble abode. Well, the 4th floor.
Yeah, the roof.
In fact, the roof, which is not on fire.
Yet. Oh, so yet.
Just
give it time.
But you make your way up there and you walk back into your shack. You do your check. You look through. Everything is where it was when you were here before. It doesn't seem like anyone's been in here. As best you can tell.
Okay. I'll just, get undressed with all the armour and all that kind of stuff. Stole, like, my new gun and everything away.
Yeah, you start putting that stuff on a little jacket holster thing. What do you call those?
Coat hanger?
Coat hanger. Jacket holsters. That's what we're calling them now.
Holsters,
We've now renamed them jacket holsters.
Jacket holsters.
So you utilize your jacket holster to put your armor on. Yep.
Then I'm going to go on the radio and see if I can get in contact with Pigeon.
Okay. You flip off the furs that are covering all your gear that's on your desk. You sit down, try and get comfortable, get a little bit of a light going, perhaps a candle or just a small LED light, something to illuminate your surroundings slightly, and you flick the radio on. Going straight to Pigeon's channel?
Yeah. Not buttering about for this one.
Okay, alright. Roll luck for me, and it's just going to be flat at this stage.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a sigil for this.
Okay, spend away.
11 passed. I didn't have to spend that.
But you never know.
Never know.
You never know. Best to be safe. So, you scroll through onto the frequency. What's your opener?
So it's Pigeon coming, this is right. Over.
There's a pause for a time. And then it's almost a whispered voice comes through. Rat, this is Pigeon.
Is everything okay? Over.
There's just a lot going on right now. Are
Fire?
you... Yes. Are you okay?
Yeah, it wasn't us, but we were around. Was it your chopper overhead?
Long pause. Yes. Reconnaissance. To see what was left. That's not our operation. They were vital.
Yeah, fuel is.
But not just to us, I think to others as well.
Auckland.
Other parties.
Yeah, we think this was Auckland who did that.
We haven't got information back yet, but there's not much of that place left. I don't think it's going to be operational. Not after that. I could see that.
Do you see anyone leaving the area?
We didn't have any word. No. We arrived after. Couldn't see any activity. It's all I've heard back so far.
Do you have plans to establish yourselves over there now? To see what scavenge what's left or anything? Or just fill a vacuum?
We are going to be sending a team. We need to know what's left. if it can be salvaged.
We'll stay away then.
Thank you. Why were you there?
We've had dealings with them in the past.
Okay. That siren's not going off. Also, that plane that went overhead moments before also wasn't going off. There's lots of things. I'll tell you what it was. It was those freaking kids with the limes. They're breaking into people's houses.
Leave
That's
them
what it
free
is.
limes, how dare they?
Exactly. Yeah.
Guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, they made it onto the show, so I mean, yeah, it's working.
So, did she say anything after I said yeah, dealings in the past?
Yeah, you said we had dealings with them in the past. Okay, yeah. And she said, salvage team. Just kind of paused for a while. They're back again. And they're gone. I feel like it's whenever I feel like whenever I start talking, it goes. No? Okay, we're good. I think we're good. Yes. So it it just holds quiet for a while. If it was them, the other party, I don't know where they are now. We don't know where they are now.
Somewhere between there and Auckland, I guess.
Keep an eye out for lights.
From you or from them?
Not from us. Attention's going to be focused on the point.
Okay. I'll let you know if I see anything.
I'd appreciate that. Don't get burned.
No, I'll try. Over and out.
Out. And it goes silent.
Then I go to sleep.
Okay. You throw yourself in bed. Get some of those lovely fur blankets that you've made out of the various creatures you have managed to trap over the years. Get nice and comfy and start to settle. Scott, it's been a difficult night for you. But what's made this more difficult is that you've been awake for all of this. You have been numbed. A local anesthetic has been used on the side of your head, but you've been aware as Willow has been working. Nick has been by her side. They both have head torches on as they are working. You haven't seen Jen for a while now, it's been hours. And Willow at first looked very concerned, but that was quickly hidden away by a mask that was over her face. Nick as well, and they're working with gloves on. You can't tell what they're doing, because you can't see on that side exactly what they're doing to you, but there's lots of tugging and movement and reassurances before finally Willow stretches back. We're done. You still feel that sense of shock is worn off, but other painkillers that they've given you have dulled you slightly. You feel almost drunk, but not like not like a light drunk, more like heavy and slow and sluggish. But you lie there in bed for a time, and Nick just kind of comes over and gives you a pat. You're gonna be good, bro. I'd say some stupid eye pun, but I can't think of anything right now. I'll keep an eye on you. It's the best I can do for now. Do you need anything? Blink twice. Okay. I mean, you can see, like, he was joking, but there is concern there at the same time as he walks out and Willow follows. The door starts to close, but it's caught as Jen enters. Stoops down low against the bed. How do you feel?
Not too bad.
Yeah,
Bit out of it.
I'm sure. The anesthetic should wear off by the morning. But she said there's still going to be a lot of pain. We can manage that, though. I think it's going to be a pretty gnarly scar.
One more step till I become a pirate.
Yeah, you're going to have to start working on the voice. Just throw in a few yars and you'll be okay. You know you didn't have to do any of that, right? I think you know that, but the fact that you still did it was good. We've been here for 5 years now. And it's been safe and it's been secure and peaceful and it's been good for us, but it's almost a bubble. I almost say we've been living in a fantasy, but it's been... well, it's not what everyone else has been living. I think you went out of your way to help save someone that came from something much worse than us. If we can keep helping each other, maybe there's others out there who will do the same. You helped my dad. He's the person he is today. Because you helped him back. Just promise me you won't lose another eye.
Can't promise you that, but I can promise you that I'll certainly try.
All right. I appreciate that. We were lucky to get out of that. Those kids. Part of me wants to help, but I don't know if we can. You got the closest. I saw what you did with your axe. Are you alright?
Yeah, they were different. Human, but not
It's dark.
You don't need to think about it now, I'm sorry. Look, I'm gonna be here. If you need anything during the night, just say.
Could you do me a favour?
Yeah, sure.
Could you tell Jake I think Eddie's back?
Okay, I can do that. Alright. She gets up and leaves for a time.
I just rest. Just close my eye.
And rest comes fast. The day's events have exhausted you. You are holding it together just long enough. But before she even makes it back, you are dreaming. And you're thrown back to that moment of standing there with that guy standing in front of you. The two shots going off, one and the other split second later. And just that feeling, that punch in the face. And then the uncertainty of whether you were alive or you were dead or how bad things were. But eventually, the morning comes. It arrives for all of you.
Before I went to sleep, I would have pulled out my journal and started writing my own theories of what I thought the little
Children.
zombies were.
The children, yeah.
Yeah, the little ninja zombie baby things were.
The human children, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those ones. I'm gonna label it nips on top.
Okay.
Ninja, whatever, predator babies, whatever it was.
All right. Eventually, sunrise starts to streak across the reserve. There is a sound of work happening outside, some of the early risers getting straight to it. Poe has been working on reinforcing the walls and repairing the areas that were kind of dug under by the hounds evenings prior. His son Willie is helping him out with that. Jake seems to be going on a walk with Aroha around the outside. Breakfast is being prepared. Again, nice to be eating. And so you sit yourselves around the breakfast table. Scott, you wake up. Jen's there. Morning.
Morning.
Drugs worn off?
Yeah, it's a bit raw.
Yeah. Do you want to get up or do you want to stay down?
Oh, yeah, I don't say anything. I just try to lean up. And
You pull yourself up. You've got a bit of a headache still, as you'd expect. There's throbbing, and as you do kind of shift, there is a bit of throbbing that starts, but it kind of slowly dissipates a little bit.
do I feel like literally bandages just like literally wrapped all around my head? Like,
You reach up and touch, and you've got, you're touching skin up until around about this region here. And there does seem to be kind of like a cotton pad that's across here, and you do have tape that is wrapped up and around, and it kind of comes across awkwardly across the nose. But you can feel like you're wrapped up.
just look down, make sure my prosthetic is on before
It is. Yeah, it's on.
I swing around and stand off the bed slowly.
Okay, you stand off the bed, and as you do stand up across the way, there is a mirror, and you catch yourself in the reflection. You can see the padding that's around here, and there is like a a dull redness to it, and the strap's just running straight across. But the rest of you's there. You know, you look at yourself for a second and yeah, you can't see what it looks like underneath, but you still got a head on your shoulders.
Still the best looking guy here.
And the most modest. And she pats you on the back and starts to help you walk up. Scott joins everyone at the breakfast table, to the surprise of many that are there. Scott, do you come down for breakfast?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
There is a note for your food.
Okay, so as this is all happening, conversations begin.
How you feeling, Captain?
A bit lighter again, but I'll survive.
Good.
Good to hear.
You know, it's not a competition, right?
Try not to make it one.
Yeah. Looking at the lot of you, well, I can't talk. I'm barely together myself. So, you brought back some Ruskies.
Yeah.
Yep.
How are they doing? Has anyone checked on them?
There, Willow speaks up from a little bit further down the breakfast table. The one that's been here before is Bar. Yep. He's awake. The other one, I don't have his name. He came to last night briefly, and he's still here, but he is incredibly weak.
Is he infected?
He's not infected from what I can tell, but that hand most certainly is. I would try to remove it, but I'm afraid the shock and the blood loss might kill him. We're stuck there.
Let me get this straight. When you say infected, you mean
As in
general
a general
infection?
infection.
Yeah. Okay.
At least it's looking that way. I'm not seeing signs of a fever yet.
It's good. Small mercies. Is Mal in any shape to have conversation? Or is that not advised just yet?
Yes, I've just made sure that both rooms remained locked. Frank's still down there watching over it at the moment, to make sure that they're not... Well, I didn't know whether or not you wanted them to stay in there or if they're allowed to roam around. I just figured it would be safer if we kept them in there for now.
I would like to go talk to Ismail at some point.
Yeah.
But I think before any of that, you guys have done us a massive favour in coming out. You didn't have to come onto the boat to try and help save Max.
You didn't have to stick around when we went forward and you fell back with Scott.
We, anything we can do to help out around here. I don't want to just be hanging around not doing much.
Yeah.
So before we proceed with any of our own agendas, i.e. searching for Max, I would put it to you guys if there's anything you'd like for us to do. This is...
I'll need help with the wheat at some point. It's ready to be harvested. Says Livia, who was the young daughter of Amber, who perished while leaving Little Barrier. She's taken a keen interest in the farming side of things and has been working with Lulu. She's in her teens now. She's probably around about 14 or 15, but she isn't quite sure how old she is either, as her mother passed when she was young.
I'll help with that as much as I can.
Cool.
Can't say I've ever done it, but
I wouldn't work you too hard. You're both, well,
Cripples.
yeah, you got it right. That's what I was trying to say.
yeah.
You don't beat around the bush there.
Hey, I can say that.
Yeah, fair enough.
That would be helpful. Just many hands, light work.
Dan used to be a gardener back in the day, didn't you?
Done a bit, but not farming. Yeah.
Eh.
Different.
All it takes is a strong back and one good arm.
Lulu pipes up.
We can muster that between the two of us at the very least.
Yeah.
Good. But I think our talks should come first. With the ones below.
Yes.
They wanted us to do things for them once upon a time. Producing back on Little Barrier Island.
Producing what?
Drugs. Methamphetamine. I would like to know more. After breakfast, she smiles and goes back to eating.
And you all continue eating for a while, unless anyone else interjects?
You haven't actually mentioned to us your knowledge of what thoughts on who took over the refinery, have you? Like, not in character. No.
No, but Jake is looking across at you, across the table. He actually does speak up after a little while. I've been thinking something that we might want to have on the cards at some point before long. You guys have done a lot of good things with the place while we've been gone, but I think after seeing how quickly that place went down last night, it'd be worth having another site B, somewhere that we can go to, somewhere that has something where we can make it for a while.
What do you have in mind?
Somewhere safe. But I know that doesn't mean a lot. Somewhere other than here. Maybe further inland's better. We're on the coast at the moment, and that's good. It means we've got a few ways out, but I think you've been lucky that no one's cruised around here so far. And what do you think?
Well, we can't go south. It'll go take us past Auckland. And that's too dangerous.
I mean, maybe not that far. Something that we could walk to within a day, maybe two.
It should probably be something you can hide. You don't want to get there and find someone else has already found it and settled in.
We've got a few maps. We might be able to have a look over them. We can leave it till the end of the day. But it might be worth just having a backup.
Backup sounds like a good idea. I don't know if I mentioned last night, that I think this should also be put on the table, is whoever was at the refinery, that wasn't Eden, that wasn't our Auckland. I remember seeing when I looked up into their thing, I did shout out that I saw the lion, and I thought I was freaking out about it, seeing things. But there was, when I looked at it again on the way out, it looked like an old skinned lion of sorts. Or like, one of those weird bear floor mat things. Just like
Jake's just like looking straight at you,
so. I don't know.
and then
If,
looking at Nick, and
I don't know if you guys know anything about this or if it's. I mean, just wanted to. It's not our Auckland, so it's not as bad as we thought, at the very least.
We have our theories that we've potentially encountered this group before.
yeah, and Jake just kind of taps his.
I
Is he-
could show you this, the scar on my head, the
tattoo
on my head.
off to the side.
Okay, off to the
Yeah.
side of
What
my
does it
head.
look like?
It's a crescent moon, and there are a number of lines next to
5,
it.
was it, or? Yeah.
One more than what our group
6.
size was, so
6.
6, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because it was a tally of 5 and then 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
This on the side.
So. Well, I'll hold my hand out. I don't know if this has been shown before, but
Yeah, you guys swapped stories when you first met. Yeah.
yeah, it's probably similar group. Probably could be just as dangerous. I don't know the specifics of the group that you guys have encountered, but I think it would be a good idea to sort of.
When we left them, there was a lot going on. Yeah, I didn't know whether or not they'd still be around after this many years, but
The lion's a bit of a identifier.
To have come all this way from Auckland, that's for as many people as they had to have taken that facility as quick as they did.
yeah, but we all saw that place.
Yeah.
They didn't have a shit show of making it. It was old people and folks with missing arms and legs, and
To bring those people through the wasteland between here and Auckland, that's either heavy transportation or a lot of supplies that they...
Must be transportation.
both me and Nick saw it from above, with Hogan and the others. It's a big stretch.
And they came quickly since I heard them on the radio. They must have trucks.
We went in with a week and a half, 2 weeks worth of, if we stretched it, rations. And we were long out by the time we got out of there.
We did get turned around quite a bit.
Yeah, they clocked it inside a day.
Oof.
Like proper driving speed from Auckland to Lee. Well, to Whangarei.
That means they gotta have transportation. Not just transportation, but
It must be trucks, 'cause if they're
Yeah.
going up to the fuel, they were probably going to bring fuel back.
no,
So it wouldn't
have to
surprise
be.
me if they had a tanker with them.
Could they have been the large trucks we saw on the way out of Auckland?
It's a possibility. I don't.
On our way out, there was one big truck throwing out all kinds of fumes, and it was
Imagine
plated and
imagine a slapdash, like post-apocalyptic death race mixes with Mad Max monstrosity.
Okay. Yeah.
we didn't see where it went. We got off the road and hid for a while, but we didn't see it on our path through the wastelands. But it was definitely heading that direction. That was a long time ago, but maybe they were making treks up and slowly more and more north.
Maybe they're mobile. Maybe they're not in properly in Auckland. Maybe they are just trucks and tankers and things.
Not staying in one place. Staying on the move.
That would be smart.
I mean, if you saw them like, what was it? It took you like 10 days more to get through there. I mean, come on, it takes like an hour to drive from here to Auckland.
Yeah.
It did.
Even with that, it wouldn't take 10 days driving.
No.
No.
So maybe, maybe they just
But if they're mobile,
could reason-
destroying their fuel resource would be
Maybe they did.
true.
Maybe the
They
Russians
could have been
did.
the Russians.
They don't want to give it up.
I couldn't tell what was going on. There was a fire before we got there. Before we even turned up. We saw it from back up the hill. So... I don't understand. They've got to know something. Ismail, his mate.
They should do. At the very least, if they had some kind of standing self-destruct measure kind of thing, that might give us some insight.
Well, there's only one way to know. Let's go.
Yep.
I'm done.
Alright.
Good to go.
Scuff whatever's left and just, oh, go, let's go. Oh.
You okay to join us?
Only one way to find out.
Alright. Don't overdo it.
Your room's just outside if you need to step back and lay down.
So, you start to make your way down the stairs to the second level, to the two rooms that are locked off. When you approach, you can see that Frank's standing outside, keeping watch of the place. Now's the time. Alright. And he starts unlocking the first one. Who do you want first?
Ismail.
Alright. He goes to the one on the left, starts unlocking it, opens the door, and Ismail is sitting up in the bed. The curtains drawn across, letting in a little bit of light.
Morning.
How much space for people is in there?
Oh, it's a bit tight. But you can all kind of funnel in a little bit. There are others who are kind of waiting out in the hallway. It's kind of like, wait your turn to talk to Ismail, but he's just sitting in the bed, just arm around his side. And you can see that he's got this pretty decently sized bruise on the side of his head and quite a lump that's still there.
Where am I?
With us.
Where is... your place?
Yep.
Yeah.
When did we get here? How long ago?
Last night.
Yeah.
I feel we are running in.
That was a couple of nights ago.
Ivan.
Wait, no,
Took a
that was
big
last
hit.
night.
That was last night.
That was last night.
This was a long night.
Yeah, it was a long night.
Very long night.
I just remember the fear. Did you find him, Ivan?
Yep.
Who? Which one's Ivan?
My brother.
Brother. The guy with the...
You found him.
No, the hand was
Thank
Ivan.
you.
Was that
The
not
one with the
Ivan?
hand.
We didn't
Yeah,
know
the
his
one with the
name.
hand.
We didn't know his name.
No, so who's Ivan?
My brother.
What does he look like? I described the guy with the hand.
Like me?
He saw the guy with the hand.
Yes, he did.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I've seen the guy with the
Yeah.
hand.
I thought that was
Yeah.
his brother.
I described
Well,
that guy.
Yeah. That is not Ivan. That is Mikhail.
I described the guy who volunteered to go out shooting.
No, that's rude.
That's Rude.
Okay. No,
What?
we didn't find Ivan.
Where is Rude?
Yeah,
Yeah, he...
he's dead.
Jesus, man.
How did he die?
A blaze of glory.
Yeah, Undead got him.
He bought us the time to get you out of there.
Okay.
Tough nut to crack, that rude.
You could say that. You did not find my brother.
No. We tried.
I do not. I ran as well. I do not blame you.
Those creatures that chased us, there was no chance we could have looked at night.
I know.
I mean, with some luck.
Did
Your
they
friend-
get the road? The ones that were chasing us.
No.
There was a second horde.
It sounds like something he would do. Stupid.
Or brave.
Both.
Unfortunately, it gets worse.
Mikhail did not make it.
He's still with us. Just.
It is good. It is something.
There's a reason we're here. And not back at your place.
Why?
It's on fire.
We're too late.
There was an explosion before we even got back to the boats.
Do you know who did this? Did you see their uniforms?
No uniforms, but
We're
you see
pretty
blue?
sure they're from Auckland.
From Auckland? But they did not have military uniforms?
no, it was all leathers and
Not the army then.
definitely not the army.
The Rock.
They were armed like it. The Rock?
Yes. You guys would know that.
How bad? The others that were there. No others made it.
We saw no one alive. But
To be fair, we saw no one. Like, aside from
them.
aside from the asshole that was on the...
You see Jake just kind of...
If
Oh, he wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there.
Nick, no, you see Nick. You see Nick just...
To be fair, there were some. Mostly elderly. Saw maybe 3 or 4. Not as many that were there before. So I think that some of your people did get away.
We went back to the infirmary before we left.
Your friend.
The whole room was empty. Not just her, but all of the people you had in there. Everyone was...
There is a chance then that they might be alive.
I can only assume that they were taken to maybe the same rock, but it's pretty far away. But maybe they've set up a roost somewhere else now.
Yeah, it makes sense. He is that sort of person.
We knew he had a few, well, they had a few different operations going.
Do you know of anywhere nearby they might have come from or gone to?
I do not know exactly where they hang their hat. There is a fuel line that runs from the point to South Auckland. It is where fuel has flowed before all of this shit happened. We managed to keep that flow, get the flow going again. They were a middleman for us. After we were not able to produce other substances for them anymore, after everything that happened on your island, we had to pivot, and we did. But, as I told you, the main threat we had was those on the barrier. Military. They needed more fuel than we could give. We were not able to give as much, not down the pipeline. I didn't think that they would come, not all this way. We are far, especially nowadays. Travel is not easy. But it seems they came. Wait, you say everything. What is the facility? What is left?
When we left, everything was on fire. Everything that wasn't the tanker was on fire.
Doesn't make any sense. They would not have.
That's not something you would have done?
No.
For people?
As a last resort to stop them from taking control.
My mother, she is stubborn. There is a world in which I could see her possibly doing something like that. But not to that extent. She would stop it working. Make it so that we were needed. That we could fix it, we could make it better. She would not destroy. Why they would, I do not understand. It makes no sense. They need that fuel.
But it matters little now. We saw an army helicopter over it when the fire was going. They know that as well. So, anybody who goes back now, they'll be swarming with the military.
There's no one left there now. But there are others of ours that are still with them on the barrier. Maybe they were safer. Maybe they were right. How did they... You were not there, were you? You don't know how they did it?
We went in there to get Max. Well, we got up on the boat. There was...
The boat is still there.
It was when we got there.
It was. They
But the facility was on fire?
They had taken the boat. The facility was on fire.
It could not have been... Was it bombs?
Maybe, we don't know.
You don't know.
We arrived after the place was already on fire.
We got there when everything was fine. We left. We came back, everything had already started.
There was a big explosion, but whether or not it was just that much fuel going up or an actual explosive.
To be fair, Nick speaks up again. What we were talking about on the boat. You wanted to set things on fire.
True. I mean, that would, if it reacted that way, those spores would explain the sky lighting up afterwards, but could they have gotten there first?
Who were?
There was those weird spore clouds coming out of Whangarei. I was tempted to see what they burnt like, but Nick made the very smart comparison of particles that fine.
Oh, right, yeah. Blow up
Tend
anyway.
to, yeah, I mean, I've seen what used to happen with packets of powdered milk and stuff, so I can imagine what a sky full of the stuff would do.
Winds were shifting. Might have been it. Might not. But
Don't know if it started it.
I haven't seen a place like that before explode, so I don't know. All I know is it was big, and there was a lot of it.
And that some of it came out of that big infected guy we fought at the edge of the forest. Maybe some of those made their way to the refinery.
So there was no one left on the boat?
Just them.
They were still there.
There were people on the boat.
Then they did not do this. Why would they blow something up when they're so close? That makes no sense.
Could have been an accident.
Maybe.
They were downstairs. I didn't.
They're not the smartest, so maybe...
Well, it's done now. There's nothing we can do about
No.
it.
It is worth remembering. If something happens there, it can happen elsewhere. I would like to talk to Mikhail. Alone. I will not keep you. My only request would be give me a weapon, a few days' food, water. I'll be out through here.
Going out on your own or going after them on your own?
This is not my home. I'll not be a burden. I'll find a way. There is a chance they have my mother.
And there's a chance they have our friend. So if you're going after them, then we'd like to tag along.
If they have Max, I can really only see 3 outcomes for her. Either your people were able to help with her infection and she's doing better, then wherever she is, that's probably not helping. She'll get worse again. If they couldn't help, then that's even worse. If it wasn't a normal infection, then any of your people still alive are in a lot of trouble.
We can handle ourselves.
In any case, you don't seem to be in any condition to travel.
Yeah, give it a few days.
And when you do leave, I'll be more than happy to help you hunt, as it were.
I've got a question. What does Privyet mean?
Привет. Is hello.
In the forest just before those, when I saw the
Baby ninja zombie things.
in the night vision,
What?
just before it said Privyet.
I heard whispering. But
seems like
Wait, did I hear it say anything? Or
Yeah, you had one talk to you directly.
oh right, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, yeah. No, you're right.
We
I'm
were
not confused.
we were attacked by some
Bold children.
Bald children.
not human, but not zombies.
Not human?
Like half.
Like a fish?
Like,
No.
like half
Undead.
an undead.
It was something different.
What do you
about
mean?
them.
Like the thing you show me? Like the dog?
Yeah, but a
Yes.
human version of that dog.
Maybe.
What makes you think that?
Because they were like human versions of that dog.
There was
Smart and bold.
Yeah, there was an intelligence to them that
They could speak. They were waiting for us. Your friend, it seems they did that to his hand. They were not just out to eat for the sake of eating.
the bastards enjoyed the hunt.
That was
At the very least,
torture.
they're fucked up humans. But
All those fucked up humans have my brother. So I'd like to talk to Mikhail.
They were. The speed they moved. Kids are quick, but
we have time to talk. We'll let you
Yeah.
yes.
speak with your brother.
Alright. And he kind of pushes through the crowd towards the other door. And Frank is just kind of waiting at the door with him until someone gives Frank a nod. And then he
He's good.
lets him in, closes the door behind him. And you're left with just yourselves, all standing crowded in the medical wing. And as you kind of look out into the hallway, there's a lot of people here. People nosing in.
Frank, could you let me out?
Yeah. Let's get some air, fellas.
Yep.
I'm gonna go out into the living kind of area and just sit down on the couch, just relax while
Okay,
they're in there.
alright.
I'm gonna also go and sit down on the couch, but I'm gonna grab my journal and start filling it with.
Okay. As you guys are kind of walking away, Livia, the young girl, is in the hallway and she's
Right.
free.
Yes.
Cool.
I'll put my journal away.
Show you where the stuff is.
I could use a distraction.
And I'll go start trapping.
Alright. You make your way outside.
Give us let Scott know and give us a shout if he comes back and wants to talk more or
Yeah, I'll come and walk in on me.
Okay. As you start to follow Livia outside to get some of the equipment, to start trying to bring in some of this wheat that's on the outer side of this fence, Skulk, as you're walking out with this group, and you guys kind of split off to go your separate ways, you going out the front gate, them going out the rear. As you approach the front gate, Charles is just coming in. And he's coming in from his morning fishing. And he's bringing up a few fish, which are just in a bucket, and just saw a lot of smoke from last night, further down the way.
Up north.
Yeah. Think I saw some smaller, closer.
Smoke trails.
Yeah.
How close?
2 bays over. Thereabouts, maybe. Maybe a little further. Not sure.
is this before or after we've split up?
You guys have gone different directions. So you've gone out the far gate, and Skulk's gone out the front gate. Something worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah. After I do my tracking, I'll have a look through the telescope. If it gets closer, we'll go have a look on one of the boats.
All right. Okay, I'm heading up. Good luck. You go your separate ways. And Scott, you start to rest. You two start to make your way out into the fields. Jonah and Lulu are accompanying you as well. And you start to work. And feels good to put your mind to something else for a little bit. And as you work away and everyone else goes about their business in the morning, that's where we're going to be ending our first part to this, Chapter 4, Eye for an Eye. Please do join us in the next one as we see what awaits us, and perhaps if the Russians have any more answers. But that's us for now. I've been Rycon, you have all been awesome, and until next time, stay breathing.